And I'll be right there. I make her come checking my baby. No time, no. All my dogs is on probation. Another 5 years. 10 girls to his location. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's your boy Ro, and I'm back with another one. This is a special day and a special segment today. I don't have a full-on name for it, but I want to call it Share. This is a segment Share when I want to use my platform to bring other artists with different professions onto the stream, and they get to share what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? What's going to be coming up, or maybe something a lot of you guys didn't know about us for an event that's happening here in the Lower Mainland, and for future places that he's potentially going to be reaching out to. So without further ado, I want to do a little transition over here where we can invite the one and only Travis Arthur. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Can we do a little mic check? Anyone out here in the chat? How do we sound out there?
Can you hear me?
We heard, we good? I hear you there. You sound pretty good. All right, that's blessed. Yes, so we have Travis Arthur out here right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's a comedian. Coop, welcome to the chat. Bells, thank you also very much. Mike sounds good. Awesome. Travis, would you like to share with our viewers here and let them know who you are and what we're going to be doing, kind of what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a comedian based out of the Lower Mainland in Vancouver, BC, Canada. I'm a producer as well for a couple different shows. I produce the Rose Show comedy competition as well as the Tech Comedy Show. I'm here to shoot the shit with Ro, and we can talk about some upcoming shows we have coming on because Ro and I are actually doing some shows together. We got the Rose Show coming up October 24th, and Rose going to be opening with live music for that. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is just going to kind of explore what's happening and what's coming up.
There you go. So before we actually jump into these questionnaires and stuff, yeah, I'll be meaning to ask. I mean, actually, I'll be meaning to tell people because they're probably gonna wonder how did we meet and all this stuff, right? So the
Hmm.
back end story of how Travis and I met is that we actually lived in the same building to begin with, right? And
Yeah.
in our building, you're not allowed to smoke in the building, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may most likely have that as for the landlords and whatnot. But so the situation is we got to go smoke outside, and it's kind of divided really around our area there where we lived. It's like those who smoke cigarettes was kind of like on one side, and those who smoke weed or marijuana, reefer, was like on this other side of the corner. Except for Travis, of course, because he's both and doesn't give a shit. And you know what I'm saying? We always smoking some weed and having a good time. So over the past couple of times of crossing paths, and you know how it is, it's not like alcohol. Marijuana kind of like brings people a little bit more together to have a conversation and whatnot, right? So that's how we kind of got to know each other. And from there on out, we've been friends ever since. You know what I mean? Did I miss anything there, Travis? You think?
No, that's a good recap.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's been a whole vibe ever since, which actually brings me to my very first question for you, Travis. So
Yeah,
why
shoot.
or what, right, was it that made you think or believe that comedy was it for you? What was that turning point, initial point that made you start thinking and actually taking the initiative into going to this profession?
You want the serious answer or the funny answer?
Give them both. Give them both.
The serious answer is that I've always wanted to be a comedian. According to my mom and my teachers, I've been a comedian since I was a kid. I just wasn't getting paid for it. But the sad real reason is these days it seems like you got to do something crazy just to get paid.
It's true.
So I'm like, I got a decent job and all that, but I feel like the best way to make it ahead in life is just to pursue a passion, right? So
Absolutely. I agree with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I find out that a lot of the things, right? So doing music myself and you doing comedy, I'm sure you can actually relate or probably have some scenarios that's kind of the same, is that when you start doing that profession that you're actually what's it called, passionate about, let's just say, right?
yeah,
And you notice that you start to meet more and more people in that same type of category of mind, state of mind, right? People who are doing it because they're passionate about it, right? And in the beginning they probably was told that you're this ain't gonna work, this ain't gonna do it type of thing, like the whole, what is that called when people try to not depreciate, what's the word I'm looking for there, kind of bring you down, You know what I'm saying? Because in overall, it's just they aren't capable of doing the type of thing that they would like to do. So to see someone else
Yeah.
doing it, it's like, oh my God, like no, you know what I'm saying? Especially it comes a lot from like loved ones, close people, right? So it's
Yeah.
really, I'm sure, like I said, you can relate to that too, right? But that starting point, like you said, right? And I feel like a lot of the times when you do decide to do that passion, like you said, a lot of people have been telling you as you've been growing up that, hey, you should try that. Hey, you should try that. Hey, you're probably good at that. You know what I'm saying? And it's never till kind of later on where, like, you tried all these things you want to do yourself. And then finally, it's like, I'm going to do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you do it
Totally.
and, you get that support, right? Especially from those who've been telling that you should be doing that. And then when you do it, you get that heavy support there, which is always a great thing, I find. So,
Mhm.
is there anything else you would like to add there, Travis?
Uh, the only thing I would add is probably like when you're performing music and stuff like that. There's just nothing better than when the audience is vibing you, whether it's comedy or music. They're just like they're picking up exactly what you're putting down, and you're all on the same kind of vibe, and it's addictive for sure. Getting those laughs is super addictive.
I agree. I would stake, right? I would stake the fact of getting to that point is mostly because of all the trials and tribulation that got you there. So like the first time going on, having these materials, feeling the nervousness of going on stage, people not laughing at your jokes as, comedians right now, right? And you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just feeling like the soul crushing quietness of people after you drop a joke. Like that is terrifying, right? Because like not a lot of people can do public speaking. Not a lot of people can go up in front of
yeah,
the stage or go on the camera like we're doing right now and talk and have these conversation and be fruitful about it while still maintaining, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
yourself vigilantly, right? So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. It's once you kind of honed your craft in a little bit more and now you're just like hungry to just be on the stage and like share new material or share old material or just get that reaction from the audience is definitely a very, very, very nice feeling. Absolutely. And you should feel happy and reward yourself for that because you've gone through a lot of those, right? You've gone through a lot of days where
yeah,
maybe the show isn't as packed. Maybe there's not a lot of people on and you grow that and then now, sold out shows as you're doing right now with the real show. That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
I was that was actually
Although,
pretty
funnily enough, like, of course, when you're on stage, you want to crush, you want to be funny, people, but like for social media, my biggest viral video has like 2 million views, and it's me bombing a joke. It's me just like eating shit. But I think people can relate to that, right? Because they're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly. See, that is the thing, right? That is like the gold factor when you're starting off, especially also. Even like not even starting off, but like you're on a level of an established artist and you're just
Yeah,
messing around in the studio writing this one song, say this crazy line. They're like, yo, that that is the thing. You gotta drop that in the song more, or like you gotta be saying that more, right? So same thing there with you, right? You just messing around, just doing your thing. Probably not even so much looking into like making it the joke and just probably freestyle a little bit and did it, and then boom, there you go. Gold, baby.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's sick.
100%.
That's awesome, man. I got another question
Yeah,
here for you.
yeah, shoot.
I mean, if you have any questions for me too, feel free, right?
Yeah.
Go a little back and forth there. So, how have comedy influenced or changed your life ever since you've started doing this?
Ooh. Doing comedy kind of ruined watching stand-up comedy for me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because like I can't just get like sucked into it the same anymore because I get like super critical. I'm like, oh, maybe I would have written that joke a little differently,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
oh, they didn't hook me right away. And like I think one of the biggest things as an artist is you don't realize those people you're watching on Netflix and Amazon and all that, they already have a fan base and a following. So they could literally walk out and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And half the audience laughs just because they think they're funny. So when you're still going out and trying to win audiences, they don't have that idea about you like, "Oh, I already think this guy's funny. I've got to prove I'm funny." Which,
Exactly.
same as with your music, you got to prove you deserve to be there. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like it's kind of weird that I love doing comedy, but it's kind of taken away the joy of watching
Watching.
comedy, which is odd.
I wholeheartedly agree with you too. Like again, right? Your examples with comedy, my example with music, same thing, right? So,
Yeah.
before writing the music, going to the studio, putting out the music, go perform the music, right? Going and watching live performances like that, it was the same thing, right? I could see it. Those who are probably doing it the first time, or those who have been doing it way longer than me and like hasn't done certain improvements, I would say as a constructive, criticism back to them type of thing. And you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Maybe a couple bars or the way the song started or the way the harmony or lyrics are being portrayed. Like, I'll be like, oh man, that part, I'd be like, drop the N word there or something. Or like, you know what I'm saying? But it emphasizes and bring forth more of, the message you're trying to bring forth, right?
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It does make it that, going and watching these things sometimes you're like, damn, you could have done this, bro. You could have done that. I
Yeah.
would I would have done this, right? Or I would have changed
Mhm.
that and said something like this or flow it like this way or whatever the case is, right? So that's really good. So I guess you would say now doing comedy has changed your perspective on being the audience being in the audience position and watching the craft now. Yeah?
Totally, completely.
Absolutely.
Like I still go out and I watch comedy. I watch a lot of like local comedians and things like that. And
Yep.
I of course support like my comedy buddies. But
Absolutely.
it's really hard to turn on a special these days and just kind of like fanboy out because I feel like these are now my colleagues. They're not, people I strive to meet. They're people that I strive to work with.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Which actually brings me to the next question with you, right? Ever since
yeah.
doing comedy, have there been artists that you would like to work with or that maybe you find a little bit hard to work with?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say you've probably had this experience in Vancouver where sometimes it just doesn't seem like there's enough of an art scene,
Yep.
you know? Or maybe there's a couple of gatekeepers that don't want to, let some everybody in to have fun,
Yep.
which is cool. But like as far as like other people I want to work with, I got really lucky last year working with two professional Irish comedians in Amsterdam, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I'd love to work with them again. But I've also written so many dark, horrible jokes that I think it would be awesome if I could open for Anthony Jeselnik. I got to figure out how to get him like me on his radar.
Hey, actually, you know what? We're gonna hold that one for the end. I had another question with that, and it has to do a little bit of like what you got going on right now for the shows that you're doing and
Yeah.
how that works, and it leads into the next part of things there also. But I'm coming back to what you were saying there about like, gatekeepers and like, working with others and like not necessarily having a scene. I can absolutely relate to that. Don't worry, chat. Bells, I see you got a question there. We're gonna get to you guys here in a sec. But yeah, coming back to what you're saying there, Travis, I have felt that coming here, right? Coming to Vancouver and living here and like being an artist of here now and trying to figure out the scene. There really hasn't been much of a scene. I'm not saying that there aren't people who's not performing. I'm not saying that there's not people who's trying to put on artists to perform. I'm just saying that for what it could be and should be, it's nothing. There's nothing here. But it also provides a platform for potential of artists to be heard, right? For artists to reach out even further than just this province here, this city even, right? And you know, I've gone around, in Vancouver scene. Try to figure out and meet people in the music scene. I've met a few people. I've met people from where I lived before that came down here and they showed me music scene because they were just connected with people here before me. And that didn't even stick. That didn't stick much really. And, my way of how I got into things with the music, or sorry, get my music more out there was, of course, more with the comedy scene. I know more as a music artist out here. I know more comedian artists out here and have, worked with them a lot more than actually working with other artists out here, which says a lot because those of you who know
Yeah.
me and have worked with me, I'm a pretty open person. You know what I'm saying? Easy to work with, I find. I mean, everybody has things in between that might not work, but overall, I find myself to be a very, open person and very easy to work with. Just want to give a shout out to the chat here. Mix, welcome to the chat. You know how it is. If you guys are just joining in, just a little recap here. this is a new segment called Share. I'm using my platform to share it with those who would use it for their own benefit and propel out there. I got my homie here, Travis Arthur, who's a comedian, professional comedian, and he was sharing with us a little bit more about how he started off, where he's at here, and also where he's going to be going in the future with his content. So yeah, just a little recap there for you guys. Bells, once again, all the question, guys, we're just gonna answer them a little bit closer to the end. We're just gonna keep going through here. We got a pretty nice momentum going on here, you know? Do you have anything to add there, Travis?
I was gonna say, how do you feel coming around with me in the comedy circuit? Because like, and getting those opportunities, like Alex has been putting you on the shows in the Fraser Valley, and then of course I've got you on the Rose show, and then we went to the Netherlands together last year, and you met like that whole comedy troupe out there. So like, how's that experience been for you? You know, because I know what it's like for me, but I don't see through your eyes, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I appreciate that. You know, we were trying to do a breakdown of our trip when we came back. We never got around to it, but this is a perfect moment right here. So, you know, getting introduced to the comedy scene as a, performing artist, musical performing artist was it was definitely a little different for me in the beginning. I find it a little strange at first, like, they're not gonna really care shit about me. I'm not even doing the same, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, yeah,
surprisingly enough, they were very open-minded people. A lot of them were very open-minded people. When they found out I wasn't doing comedy, I was doing music, it was more of like, "What? What you mean? Like, we want to hear something." So it's very encouraging, and that was like warm welcoming for a person who's not necessarily doing the same profession, and like you're welcoming it because it goes hand in hand, right? Music
yeah.
and
Mhm.
comedy. Music goes hand in hand with a lot of things, right? So when Alex gave me that opportunity, of course, granted from you because you were working with him and doing shows with him, and me coming out and supporting and stuff like that, it really put me on a level of I'm feeling accepted in a community that is not necessarily in my profession, but loves the profession regardless. Just like how I love comedians. I love what you guys do. I know it's not easy. And you know what I'm saying? To be out there doing that thing live in front of people, it's I take my hat off to anybody who can do that. It's not easy. It is not an easy thing to do. And I think that everybody who goes up there, grabs the mic, and chooses to share what they really feel passionately should be given the opportunity to be thanked. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
absolutely.
feel you.
And going to Amsterdam and like, yo, that whole experience, brother. That was a whole vibe. I'm not gonna go too into detail, but it's what anyone should do if entertainment is your category of work. You're out there. I was on vacation. Travis was touring. I got to go places I've never been. I got to meet people I've never met, and they all have different kind of backgrounds and they're also welcoming. And I made those connections because when you go out there, you got to network if this is something you seriously want to do. It is one of the biggest things that you need to do is to network. And to network, you got to be serious about who you are and what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because time is very, very precious. And how you choose to allocate that will determine and have people look at you in a way that they're either going to take you seriously or not. So don't play yourself when it
Yeah.
comes to those opportunities. You know what I mean? I got to meet people who are welcoming us back for shows all the way down in Spain, all the way up to Ireland. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm jumping a little bit of the gun of what to come here, but just letting you guys know on a past trip that we did that actually paved the way for what's to come here. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
yeah.
and honestly, music and comedy go so well together. During every comedy show, there's music at the beginning, there's music in between performers, there's usually music to close it out. Like it's just a natural marriage of performances. So it's like
Yep.
how many venues are streaming your music now from that trip?
I think all but one.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's pretty dope.
That's pretty dope. That's like international right there off the back, like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something like that. Just by being serious about your craft and, investing in yourself from the opportunity that was presented to yourself. In my case, Travis was traveling to do his tour, and I just happened to be able to make that trip also while I was going to go on my vacation. And I took it very seriously. We documented the whole thing. We have not released in full quantity of the whole thing altogether, but we have released here and there as the trip was going to kind of keep you guys a little updated on that. And I think it was definitely like a whole vibe. If you ever have the opportunity to travel to do your craft, do it. Take it very seriously. Document everything. We're in 20 goddamn 25, baby. You got no excuse. All right, tell them.
Hell yeah. Well, and the other great thing is like it's just growing organically, right? I plateaued for the longest time on my Instagram and then going out new towns, meeting new people, doing new shows, and all of a sudden you blow up 300, 400 followers. And then, every new town you gain a couple hundred more, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got a following. Oh, what's happening?
Yeah, like easy like that, right? One show,
Yeah,
you can get like 1 to 5 to 10, whatever amount of followers, right?
yeah,
But the key thing about
totally.
that I've noticed, right? So, for example, Travis did a show. When we did a show out there, he didn't want to show out there. I'm just picking one out the blue here. Delph.
Yeah.
Delph was really nice. Fucking awesome place. He did a show there. After the show, not even after the show, after he finished performing, people are approaching. What is your Instagram? Where can I find you? Are you coming back? Because he already announced that he's not even from here, not even from that goddamn side of the planet, right? So that's definitely a treat, and it tells you also with yourself what level you are on with your craft, because where you go to perform, they obviously have people performing there, right? And people who have been coming out and
Yeah,
seeing this, they are that, right? Slowly but surely, next thing you
yeah,
know, you're
absolutely.
growing your network, as Travis has said, organically. People are just checking you out after that. But you gotta also be a consistent player in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be doing stuff here and there, and it's not
Yeah,
consistent. They won't know. They won't. It's not serious. It's more of a hobby on that cases, right? So it's a whole vibe out here. Just take it serious
yeah,
with what you guys
100%.
do. You know what I mean? I do have another question for you. You ready for it?
Yeah, shoot.
This one is I think this one is probably one of the best questions I'm gonna ask it so far. You know what I'm saying? It says, "What
All
would
right.
you have been doing if not comedy?"
Oh shit.
Yeah, right?
Well, I mean, like I still have a day job
Yeah.
and I work in the tech industry. So I mean, if comedy for some reason doesn't work out, I can just go back to that and run my career. I just hate being behind a desk 24/7, man. Like I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to be working for myself. Honestly, if it wasn't comedy, I probably would have done something outlandish. I just don't know what yet.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Honestly,
Yeah. Although
because
to be fair, actually, I'd probably be streaming like you because back in the Modern Warfare 2 days, I was in the top 1% on Call of Duty.
ooh,
So,
yo, y'all heard it here first, bro. I'm not telling you guys his handler name. I'm not telling you guys his handler name. That's on him if you want to give it out. It could be offensive. Oh man. But yeah, I didn't even know that. I had no idea. You know what I mean? I didn't even know.
yeah, I've been gaming for so long. It's just like, yeah, no, yeah, top 1%, man. It was a grind. I played way too much, but
Hey, it was the
it's
thing.
fun.
You know what I mean? We loved it. We
Yeah.
did it. Had we known back then how to get paid from doing that, it'll be a whole different ball game today. Now that we do know,
Oh, totally.
right? You know what I'm saying? Speaking on
Yeah.
that same topic, I'm gonna answer the same question I asked you also.
Yeah.
If I wasn't doing music, although music was the first thing that I started doing quite seriously, the second thing I would be doing is exactly what I'm doing right now. It will be streaming and gaming and potentially then opening up my platform for this same thing. And the reason why I say this is because back then, right, when I was just starting to do the music, I was gaming before that, right? What game was it? Call of Duty also, right? I was playing RuneScape and stuff on the PC and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I played the hell out of that game so much that at a point in time, I started making my own guides in the game on how to make the most money. Because damn, you need money for everything in the damn game, right? And it
Yeah.
wasn't a big thing yet. And I would jump on like the new updates of, weapons that drop in the game, and I'll do a cover for it. So like I was building that community also, which at the time I didn't notice, it is the same practice that I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Only
Yeah.
difference is back then I never could go live because my PC couldn't, it couldn't hold all that stuff all together, right? So what I
Yeah.
did was that I could record it, and then afterwards I'll edit and I'll post it. So I was just a content creator back then. Didn't even know so much of like being under that level of things. You know what I mean? And my videos were getting
Totally.
a decent amount of views. A couple thousand there, 5,000 there, right? It was all right for
Yeah.
someone who's just starting out who didn't really know much with YouTube, right? So that was a vibe.
Now, I got a good question for you.
Yeah, what was that?
Since how we're both parents,
Yeah.
but our kids are a little different in age, but would you support your kid going into a risky business like streaming or music, or would you guide them more to like school and a typical career? Because like that's what my parents did to me. They're like, you got to get a job, you got to get a regular, this and this. So I went to university, I got a regular job, and I'm like, no, this isn't life, this is not what I want to be. I want to be an artist. But as like a parent watching your kids grow up, I'm starting to think like, my kid's good at baseball, but he can't bank on being a pro, right? So
You know what? That's a solid question. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of caught in the mix, like in the middle of both, right? Being a parent and also remembering when I was the kid and like my parents was trying to make these decisions for my future. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I wasn't being heard, or what I was being said, what I was saying wasn't being taken into the calculations of whatever they were doing, right? And
yeah,
grown past all of that and now seeing what was truly value along this journey, that it was actually profitable, right? And one of the things I always say is definitely get an education. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to have better conversations. From there you can probably make better connections that will probably even put you in a position in life, whether you have university or not, that you'll probably be able to make way more than anyone in the world. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these people who make so much money, right? Millions, billions of dollars, a lot of them don't even have high school or university or college, right? So I would definitely, emphasize the fact of getting an education 100%. And then I'll try to like listen to my kid on like what they really want to try and do. But at the same time, I'm going to definitely push more of that safety line. Get that 9 to 5 so you can cover the stuff that you're doing now. Get maybe a side job so you can start doing the things you want to like do, that you want to transfer into, that doesn't feel like a job. You know what I mean? I'll probably go
yeah,
that route more because that works for me. And it seems to legitimately be the type of equation that would work on a transitional path while you still have a roof over your head, right? Food in your stomach, and you're able to like still travel and be out with friends and family. You know what I mean? So that'd be more along the lines of like kind of how I will go with that. I would try to support them. I'll try to support them little
yeah,
niggas any way I could. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes some of that
yeah,
shit is gonna be nonsense, and I'm gonna be like, hell nah, that shutting that shit down right now. But
yeah,
yeah, that's kind of how I would try to go about the situation. But once again, as parents, man, this shit is always changing. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're like
yeah,
on the ocean all the time, losing your balance no matter how you're trying to anchor yourself. You know?
yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Well, and like you said, university, like it's great to learn things and like expand your vocabulary, but number one, it just comes down to networking. Who do you know?
Yeah,
My dad owns this company. I'm gonna get a job over here. Do you need a job?
yeah,
Like, oh, I heard, you know what I mean? Like being able to put those feelers out to people. Oh shit, I know a guy who produces music, or I know a guy who does this.
exactly.
And then all of a sudden, you reach out, you might be a stranger, but you have that one step away connection. And it's a lot easier than just walking in as like, who the heck is this guy?
Exactly. Like, what's the saying? Yeah, money can get you in the door, but like, relationship and connection solidifies even more, right? Because,
Yeah,
like you said, right,
100%.
you know a big time producer. I've never met him, but you know him pretty well. You guys are cool, whatever. Went to high school, whatever, right? And then you're like, yo, my buddy Ro, fucking good guy, done music and shit. You should hear him out. Then boom, that's just by knowing people connection. Next thing you know, I'm in this big LA fucking producer's office and shit, trying to get signed or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just never know. But definitely, networking is probably one of the best thing. Here's why I said networking is one of the best things, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Travis. You can add or correct. I say this because one, should you be doing in-person networking? So you had an event, there's lots of people around who potentially has lots of outlets that can help you. You can help them, right? And
Yeah.
you're meeting them in person. So they get to see you, who you are, right? Get a taste of how you approach, how you talk, right? This is literally your resume you're doing while you're going
Yeah.
here and doing this. You're handing your resume by the enactment of those steps, right? So that's one thing there. And then two, the second biggest thing I would say, it helps the other party to know where you're coming from. If you're able to articulate and express properly and then, paint the picture as best as you can, they get to know where you're coming from. So they get to see the type of person you are, get a little bit of your character, and also get to know like what is this guy bringing to the table? Is what he's saying making sense? Like, can I really be on board on this? Oh, maybe I had the same idea, but I wanted to add this in there, da 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 da, da, yada yada yada. Networking, baby, absolutely
Totally.
fruitful.
And like you said, when you're in person, they're seeing how you act, how you walk, how you talk, how you treat serving staff or people that are working at the venue. Like what do they say? First impressions matter.
Yep,
You know,
yep,
so you got to go in there and you got to own the room, but you also got to show that you're easy to work with. You're
yes,
cool with people. You're respectful. You're not there to like trounce on anyone. You know.
absolutely, absolutely, man. And we're talking earlier about gatekeepers. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And this comes back to that too, right? You
Yeah.
here's the thing. If you worked your ass off to get to wherever you are, of course, be happy. Fucking yell it from the top of your lungs. But when you do that and you're making or belittling others, right? Whether they're on the same level, above, or working up to, that is the issue. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
no need to boast. There's no need to make it seem like, you're better than anyone or the group of people, you know what I mean? It's better than that is not even true sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
That is just haters. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, if you're not confident enough in your skill, then you're going to keep the other people out because you're threatened.
There you go.
Because I think it's funny, like here at home, I can get booked. I get booked every weekend, not a problem.
Hell yeah, you do.
But there's certain venues that won't book me,
Mm,
even though they know me, right?
yeah.
And I just find it really funny because they're like, "Oh, you're not quite there yet." But it's like, really? I can go to Amsterdam and get booked every night of the week.
Yep.
I can go to Kelowna and get a headlining spot. I
Mhm.
could go to Toronto and go and work at Hecklers or something. You know what I mean? Like, or
Absolutely.
sorry, Jokers out in Toronto. Like, so the audiences think I'm funny.
That's all that matters. That's literally all
Yeah,
that
yeah, right.
matters. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Because at the end of
so
the
it's just
day, the
yeah,
work is going to speak for itself, and it has been.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. And
And
everyone that won't let you on a stage now will be begging you in
they
5 to
will
10
be.
years to do a set for
They
them. Yeah.
absolutely will be. And it's not a boasting factor. It's not anything like that. It's just the result of what has been happening over the years for you in this situation.
Yeah.
You have been
Hard
getting
work.
booked. You are getting booked. You're getting booked outside of the country on the other fucking side of the world, fuck's sakes. Like, that speaks volume for itself. It means your content's reaching places. It means your skill levels have been improved to the point that these other people on the whole other hemisphere of the damn world will like to see you do your thing. So, like you said, those who have not been reaching out, they will be reaching out, and you have the opportunity then to either shut them down, whatever, or take the platform and set it straight where other artists like you can also come in there and have the same platform. And maybe see that's the thing. This will make it so much better. If you don't do that gate guarding, right? If you don't do the gatekeeping and whatnot, you
Mhm.
invite more and more talents, which not provoke but improves the competition. Therefore, making every artist is out here wanting to get sharper with the craft. Therefore, providing better content.
Yeah, I would actually say so. Like, as much as there are definitely the gatekeepers in the local community here, there is a talent pool in Vancouver. There
Yeah,
is a deep talent pool.
yeah,
Like, there's probably at least 50 to 60 comedians that I would say they're hilarious and they're going to keep going. And if they keep going, they could definitely be pros.
yeah,
And it's weird because when I travel, of course, I can get bookings and all that, but the talent pools in other markets aren't as deep as they are in Vancouver. And because Vancouver is such a good talent pool, I had to get better. So yeah, I might only be on my fourth year and I'm not as great as like some of the guys at 10 years, but at the same time, there's guys 5, 6, 7 years into it that I can crush because I had to come out of a harder talent pool.
there you
I
go.
had to, make my way
Yeah,
and stand out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? That takes skill. It takes someone who is, observant, right? Someone who wants to, you know, um, get better, right? Who don't want to stay at the same level. And also someone who most definitely have a sense of where they want to go, right? Because like
Yeah.
if you have that, that you want to, reach a certain level in this craft or this profession, and you're looking at everything that you've done, the things that you're already good at, you're not focused on so much, but you're focused more on the things that you're not so good at, and then new constructive criticism that may have come to you, and you're working on those. you're only going to be improving. You're only going to become better and better and better. And if you choose to continue to be organically, yourself, your content is going to be unique in that own factor also, and it will just attract more people,
Yeah, 100%.
right? You know what I mean?
Totally.
I got
Right.
I got one more question for you here, before
Yeah,
we
shoot.
summarize everything here. And it is the one everybody's been waiting for, I guess. What's the plan for the near future? I know right now you're doing the Rose, what's it called? The Rose Show,
Yep.
right? You can explain a little bit about what that is, what that's going to bring
Yeah,
up in the future. I think that's a nice transition pad
yeah.
there. Go right ahead.
Totally. So, like immediately in the future, tonight in 3 hours, I'm gonna be in Abbotsford doing a show, comedy freak off for Laughs Laughs.
Damn.
And then in a month, like a month and 3 days, I'm hopping on a plane to Amsterdam again
Gang.
to cruise out. I got shows in Harlem, Delft, Utrecht, Amsterdam, and my first time actually at Club Haug in Rotterdam, which is sick because that's where all the touring pros play. So like last night they had Hannibal Buress
Oh
was
shit.
at Club Haug, and like so that's pretty dope. Some of the two Irish comedians that I worked with last year in Europe, Jer Stanton and Martin Angolo, they're both going to be at the Club Haug a week before I am.
Oh
So
man.
I'm like super excited about that. And then 2026 is when it's really going to get lit because, like you said earlier, I have contacts for Ireland, Portugal, Spain. So we're doing a 7 country tour, 3 shows in each country. It's going to be 22 days on the road, 21 shows in a row, and
Mm-mm-mm.
it's going to be insane. We're going to go Ireland, England, Portugal, Spain, France, Brussels or Belgium, and then back to the Netherlands. We're ended up there, and it's gonna be a hot one.
Super sauce. That is super
Yeah,
sauce, man. That is gonna be one amazing trip. I mean, I'm just excited for what you got coming up here right now. You're going back to Amsterdam. You know your brothers want to go to Amsterdam, but story for another
yeah.
time. It's gonna be
Oh
great.
yeah. Speaking of Amsterdam, I should have said the Row show that I run. That Row provides all the music for at the beginning. We always open with live music from Row, which is amazing. And I should say every show has sold out. So if you want to come to the next one, make sure you buy your tickets fast.
It's true.
But the winner of our competition, it's a year-long competition, actually gets a trip to Amsterdam. They're going to get paid to go to Amsterdam and perform comedy over there. And they're going to be recreating my first tour of the Netherlands. So they'll have 6 shows in 4 different cities. And they'll basically just got to do what I did last year, which I think most comedians or artists in general need to travel to get out of their comfort zone, to really expand on their art, because my goal as a comedian is to be funny in any city I go to in the world. I want to be able to make people laugh. I don't want to just be funny in Vancouver. I don't want to just be funny in Toronto. I want to be funny anywhere I land.
I agree.
And yeah,
I agree. And that's what I feel like that's what all artists is, no matter the profession that they're doing. That's what you guys should strive for, man. Don't just strive to be recognized in your backyard. You know what I mean? That is
yeah, yeah,
definitely like the steps to it, right? Your backyard, your block, your city, your province, right? Your country, right? But you don't have to necessarily just go in that order. It's 2025. We got the internet out here. There's people in your backyard that can never heard of you, never even know that you do whatever it is that you do, but yet people like thousands of miles away love your shit, invites you to come out here. You know what I'm saying? It's not like how it was
yeah,
before. We're not fucking living in World War I, World War II, not in the 18 or 14 goddamn 100th century. You know what I'm saying? We're in
yeah,
2025, guys. All it really takes is for you to get up and try to start. That is a big step right there. And then after that, you can try to formulate what you did wrong and try to, you know what I mean, do it in a better way. But you got to start. You need to start somewhere. You know what I mean? So, next
yeah.
show, Travis, when is the next show coming up?
Tonight at 8 p.m. in Abbotsford at local public house, it's the Comedy Freak Off. And then the next show after that is October 9th. I'm actually recording for the Winnipeg Comedy Festival at
Oh,
Comedy Underground.
damn.
And then the next day after that, I'm at Zinni Zawa's at Commercial at 8 p.m. And then the week after that, we got we're just booked and booked
We
and booked.
just
But the
booked.
most important one, The most important one is October 24th, 7 p.m. Roe Show in Cloverdale. You got me and Roe both performing, and it's an awesome show. And the best thing about the Roe Show is not only is it competition, so you get to watch 12 comedians give their best 5 minutes. We have a touring pro that closes every show as well, so you're guaranteed at the end of the show to get 25 minutes of just amazing comedy.
Absolutely. I think it's definitely one of the best setups that I've seen in a while here with what Travis is doing. And trust me, guys, this isn't biased because we're very critical on one another and how we do things, right? So to have the music there, to have, local artists from all over the lower mainland coming all together to come out to the events, people all over the place coming to support these other artists and the venue itself. It really speaks volumes, right? With everybody doing what they got to do and showing their support. You know what I mean? So it's always a big, big, big appreciation whenever you guys can make it out here. I know a lot of you guys right now who's in here is in the States, but I'm going to be editing this nice little beautiful clip here afterwards, and I'm going to be posting it out there so you guys can see for those of you guys who are more closer to us. But hey, I know some of y'all been trying to come up to Vancouver. And if you are going to be coming up here, just let me know in advance. We'll go out here and check out some shows. You know what I mean? My boy Travis is out here doing his goddamn thing. You know how it is.
Awesome.
Yes, no, so I think
Well,
that's pretty much about everything, all the questions I've had for you. Do you have any questions here before we jump into the comments section and start answering some of these comments that we had going on here? I think Bella had a question here for me.
yeah, it looks like there's a few questions. I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to give you a shout out for thanks for bringing me on and having the chat. And it was nice to shoot the shit and kind of talk about the differences between comedy and music, but also the similarities because they're artists trying to get paid to perform is going to be similar in so many genres. It's a grind, but
Yeah, it really is, That's something also that we didn't touch bases on. It's like pretty much everywhere else in the world that supports their artists, right, local or national, they can get paid in their city like that. Canada, I find to be one of the most, I don't want to I don't want to say the wrong word here, but I just use the word difficult. I was going to say backwards, right? But definitely
yeah,
difficult. And the reason why I would say backwards actually is because doing this for the amount of time that I've been doing it for, I have watched promoters pay to have celebrities come out to shows and then make the local artists, the openers, pay to be on the show. I understand the concept of things, right? But here's the
yeah,
thing. Artists, especially those who are like established on a level, we don't have the time to be running around selling these tickets like that, right? We can put it up on
yeah,
posts, make videos, and do all those things, which is kind of something I do. And then, reach out to those people who also like actually get some tickets, right? And
yeah,
again, when I say established artists, it's just like you're just at the tip where you got your stuff under control. You know how to, put on a good enough show. You know what I mean? And I just feel
yeah,
like there's got to be something in between there. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be bringing out these artists, first and foremost, I would say you gotta like have a kind of like an interview, right? A showcase before this event's coming up. See the artists you want to be on that's actually good, kind of like what Travis is doing right now, right? You're not just gonna pick someone and then be like, yeah, you get to go on a trip to Amsterdam, and then next thing you know, they go out there and it's not all that. You know what I mean? You gotta
yeah,
scale through, pin them against each other, see who's gonna come out and do the best with what they can, and from there, you pick those people, and those people you pick should be rewarded in a sense to be able to come to this next event. You know what I mean? And then from there, with
yeah,
that incentive, then they might want to push it more. Yo, I beat that competition. Now I'm gonna open for the celebrity. Like, yo, I'm making moves. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting paid. So like, yo, guys, come on out, support. You know what I mean? Grab a ticket. Like, I'm gonna be doing the song that I did last event, but I'm gonna change it up and like, you know what I mean? Like, that is something I feel like is not recognized out here in Canada across the board, really. You know what I mean? Maybe in Toronto, because Toronto's a little bit more like
mm.
the States, right? And obviously they have Drake and the weekend that came out of there, right? Where did Justin Bieber came from?
He's from Toronto too.
It's Toronto? It's Toronto,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Like
Ontarian.
Ontario out
He's
there, Toronto,
Ontario.
right?
Yeah,
So you see, that's where they
yeah,
all came from. You know what I mean? That's where all that talent is. But
yeah,
Canada as a whole, I know Travis mentioned this earlier that in Vancouver here, there's a lot of talent. In Canada as a whole, there are a lot of talented individual out here. Like it's
yeah,
ridiculous. You know what I mean? And you always like hearing somebody coming out new that's like super crazy dope on top of that. So that does help to keep you a little bit more on your toes as you know, go on in your
Yeah,
profession if they're also part of it, you know? I think we should get
yeah, got to
into
keep writing.
oh yeah. Should we get into some of these questions? Yeah, anybody have some questions for Travis?
Yeah.
Anybody got questions to me here? I'm gonna start reading through some of these questions here. The questions that get asked for me, I'm gonna ask it to you also, Travis. So we can both answer that. I think one of them you've already answered here. Question from Belle. She says, "Roy, I have a question. What made you decide to start music, and how did you get about starting?" Okay, so ever since I was, a little boy, that's how the story starts. But no, ever since I was like back home in my country, for those of you guys that didn't know, I'm from the Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I had a cousin growing up, and he was just so handy with his hands at fixing all kinds of things, from bikes to radios to all these whatever, all kinds of contraptions, right? And he loved music, and he played a lot of music around me. So I kind of got into that feel of just listening to music, liking music, till I moved out of the Caribbeans, came to Canada. I was in Montreal, where I started meeting people who was doing freestyles. Didn't really understood or know how to do this thing at that time, but I was definitely intrigued because in the Caribbeans, there's a lot of things that we don't have that are up in these other countries. We ain't got no damn snow. You know what I'm saying? We don't have people like dressed the way y'all dressing. We don't have people huddling around on the block of the hood. I mean, we got villages, but that's just different. You know what I mean? We didn't have a lot of that. And like seeing it in movies and then coming up here and seeing it in person and being a part of the vibe because they were also welcoming and they're also, people from the Caribbeans. It was just like a whole different vibe, like a transformed vibe of things. Like, yo, maybe I could really do this. So I was just shooting the
Yeah.
shit, doing a little bit of freestyle here and there. I was obviously garbage because I didn't know what the shit I was doing. But over the years after that, I moved from Montreal and I moved to Edmonton. And at that point, I was in secondary school, high school, probably around grade 10. I had a class called multimedia. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have had a class like that. And in that class, they had the curriculum that everybody needs to follow and whatnot. I was one of the kid in the class who was like, nah, nigga, I'm not doing that shit. Some bullshit. Like that's boring. It's literally what I told the teacher. It's boring. I don't want to do that. So he's like, all right, so what do you want to do? I was like, yo, can I like make a song and then like, I don't know, make a music video for the song? And he was like, I thought he was gonna shut me down. But he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. But we're working in teams, so you need a partner. And then that's when my homie Max came into the plan, right? And me and Max, we wrote a song, right? We did the song. We're gonna do a music video. That never ended up happening, but the song was so dope that in school they were playing our song every day at 2 p.m. in school in all the classes before the day's finished. You know what I'm saying? And then they had us do a little performance at the concert. Mind me, this is a French school. So like I was only allowed to do a little bit of English. They want more of the French. So like we give them a song like that. We're like, fuck this, we're gonna do an English song in this bitch. So we did that, and it was just those steps that we took and like not only necessarily like rebelling against like what was set in place, but just standing up for what I wanted and what I believe I could do and actually pushing the boundaries of overcoming these things that I didn't know, working, these programs on how to do Final Cut and edit all this stuff and audio with GarageBand, all this shit, you know what I mean? Figured it all out on our own, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a deep sensation of pride and acceptance on the journey of accomplishing these things. And just by that in my head, I'm like, what can be next? Like nothing can stop me if I've accomplished that. Nothing can stop me if I really try to do this. And that's where that started. Right out of high school, my mom was, asking me and saying, yo, what do you want to do? Like, you're going to be going to university, right? And I was like, nah, I don't even know what I want to do in university. We weren't rich, still ain't rich, but, just didn't have money like that for me to go and like do this general course and then go pick this, profession and then switch on, just didn't have it. So I told my mom, we made a deal. I was like, give me 5 years, all right? 5 years, like a business plan. I'm going to do this music thing. And if or after 5 years, nothing comes about it, I can't make any funds off of it, nothing, I don't grow or whatever, I'll go back to school and do whatever you want. But in the first year of doing this, I was opening for Ace Hood. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. I was losing my
Yeah.
shit because like at the time Ace was popping and a lot of dope music was coming out, and like he was one of my favorite rap artists at the time, you know. And I had the
Mm.
opportunity to meet and perform for him, and ever since then I just knew, yo, I'm always gonna be doing the music. Don't get me wrong. There have been times, and I'm sure a lot of you out there who's doing what you do passionately can relate to this. There have been times where I wanted to quit. I was just fuck this. I'm done. You know, where there was like I was feeling like I wasn't getting as much support as I should have gotten, or like just it was really more along the line of the support factor because my overall goal with doing music, yes, I'm doing it for me and expressing and like sharing what's happening around in the world and like close to me and people, loved ones, and so on. But it's also like I'm doing this shit really and truly for all my loved ones. You know what I mean? So I was kind of expecting my loved ones to be able to support and be my primary team. Little did I know
Mm.
down the road that I learned that, doing business with, loved ones, your partner, all this stuff, it gets complicated. It gets messy. You know what I mean? And I became grateful that I never got into those type of altercation with my loved ones like that. You know what I mean? Where we never talked ever again. I mean, some of them we didn't, but that's some other shit for some other day, you know? Well, yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, answering Bell's question, I hope that answered it. Yeah, Travis, I believe you answered that. I asked you that question a little bit back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say mine's not nearly as long as yours. Mine was just I was so bored during COVID. I was like, get me out of this fucking house.
COVID was a savage time, man. And also when COVID was happening, it was probably definitely more of the time to do like the streaming thing because a lot more people's eyes were glued to like the screens, right? Couldn't go anywhere. Everything
Mm.
has to be like online entertainment. Families out here doing like what's it called? These trends with these songs and like yeah, it was definitely a great moment of seeing creativity sparking, you know? Like a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
was just
so
trying to
many
make the time pass in ways that I never thought of that shit. Promise.
100%. There's so many people that came out painting or baking or making shit with like it doesn't matter. There's so many people that just got super creative during COVID. It was wild.
Yeah, it really was. It showed us a lot of things with the world, right? It showed us that, we can survive online, right? Which is one of the
Yep.
biggest tools that we have. I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine last night, and this is kind of gonna be the last bit of it here. I gotta let Travis go so he can get ready here. But I was talking to a homie last night, Max, and we're talking about the internet and like, we believe that, from the moment they created it, they knew they were cooked. That if everybody has access to this thing, we're cooked. They're cooked. Because now, not only can we do what we're already doing, where instantaneously, I'm in Canada, I can know what's happening right now in my country. I can see what it's like in my country right now. I don't have to travel. I don't have to wait for a documentary. You know what I mean? I can just face call somebody over there and see what's happening right now. You know what I mean? All because of the internet, right? You can create
Yeah.
a piece of virtual land like right now on this streaming platform where it's like my world and we can do whatever in here and I can show you things and like share like literally we all have planets out here on the internet basically is what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like they said, with great power comes great responsibility.
Responsibility.
There we go.
Damn it, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I think Belle had a question for you in the chat
Oh
here
shoot, yeah. Go
too.
ahead.
Oh, she said, Travis, isn't the touring going to be expensive? Do you have funds to save up for it? Or how is all that going to be paid for? Can you go into more details and how you're going to go about that?
For sure. So the tour is going to be expensive. Absolutely. No doubt about that. I don't really have a whole lot saved up right now, but that's why it's for 2026. So it's for a few months from now. The other thing is we're actually going to be producing every show that we do over there. So I will be getting 100% of the ticket revenue as well. So I'll be getting paid as a producer instead of a performer. So I'm not relying on a venue flying me out and paying my way. I'm paying my way to get there, but then I'm coming home with more money than I paid.
Damn. Beautiful. Guys, you got to take a page out of his goddamn book right here because this is the method. This is the way you guys can do it. But it comes when you build yourself up to be more confident enough to actually start setting up these events that you yourself will normally be going to and performing. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the craft
Yeah,
too. It helps you to learn the technicalities behind your shows. And that is just as important. You know what I mean? Do we have another one?
100%.
We have another question? Yeah, we do have another one here. Travis, how? Okay. This is from Bella again. Big Bells. Uh, how do you come up with your materials? Oh, I like these questions. Damn, it's good.
Uh, Oh, I get my material from a variety of different sources. Like sometimes it's just like shooting the shit with my friends. Maybe we're talking about something and something funny. Like, you know those moments you're just like, oh man, that was hilarious. And it's like that turns into a bit. Or sometimes I'm cruising in my car and I'm like at that perfect amount of like zoned out and I'm listening to music and I'll like get into that super creative mode and think about something. Or sometimes I'll take something from the music itself that I heard and riff on that, which then turns into a joke. Like I have a joke about Americans making their own pasta, and the pasta looks like bullet casings,
Oh shit.
and so they call it what do they call it? Liberty shells.
Liberty.
But I got the term Liberty Shells from a rap song where a dude was talking about open up his guns on somebody, and he's like, I'm dropping Liberty Shells.
That's dope.
And I was like, okay, so bullet casings, right? But then I was like, that sounds like a type of pasta, a Liberty Shell. So,
Liberty.
it's ridiculous, but it works.
It's dope, man. And you know it's like
Yeah,
so American with the bullets and everything, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's dope.
totally.
That's dope. You mentioned that you were kind of zoned out and listening to music. Um,
Yeah,
I find I'm gonna answer that question there too. I find that being like a little bit distracted while focusing on something helps to bring out a lot of those creative moments. You know what I'm saying? Because like I have
100%.
done the part where like I sit down and like focus on trying to do this thing, and I can, but I feel that it demands so much more brain power. You know what I'm saying? As for like, okay, I'm gonna write, but guess what? I'm gonna like smoke a doob and like put some music on the background, and like maybe have a random conversation with somebody, and be like, "Whoa, yo, 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 I figured out something. I'll be back." And you write that line down and then you start going, your mind's just running and it's like ah ooh for the ah ooh. That's kind of like how it works for me with the music, right? I will
Yeah,
most definitely have like the instrumental playing in the background and like let the song speak to me, and then like I might start humming a flow, and then it's thinking about what I was thinking about when I hummed the flow, and then the first couple words that came out, like start writing the bars around that, and then like write it out, try to get the hook down, the chorus, change out a few things, polish it up a little bit, sleep on it, come back to it the next day. Ah, it sounds good. Missing something, change up that thing. You know what I mean? It's constant
totally.
work in progress.
100%. I write a joke once and then I rehash it on stage 50 times until I find the right words.
You you already know. You already know, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it be like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It truly
totally.
just be like that. So I think this is finally the end of everything here. Right? It's all the questions. Yeah. Just want to give a nice
Yeah.
big thank you to everybody that pulled up here. Mix, Big Bells, of course. We got Travis Arthur on offensive here. King Cooper. Appreciate all y'all. OBOE own boss over every goddamn thing. We out here. I hope you guys liking these segments. We're gonna be doing a lot more of these. Tomorrow I got another one with Marlo. Marlo's gonna be pulling up tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Right. So that's gonna
Speaking of
be
networking,
yeah.
how'd you meet Marlo?
Yeah, you get me? See, that's the other thing. The other guy that we're gonna be on here tomorrow, I met him through Travis, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm telling you guys. Networking is, bro, it's cherry on top. It's the best thing you can do out here. It will teach you how to carry yourself, how to be a likable person while still keeping your head on your damn shoulder, properly chasing the goal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Yeah,
you
hell
gotta
yeah.
you gotta do that. You gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yes, guys, this is it. This is all. That's all we got out here. Travis, you want to let them know anything about it?
Just keep following my boy Ro, and if you want to follow me to see upcoming shows, go to Travis Arthur on Instagram, and I look forward to entertaining everybody.
Yeah. We're just gonna. Bells is gonna put it up in the chat section there, and I'll pin it to the top so you guys can go and follow him. It's pretty much gonna be a direct link. So when you click on that, for all you lazy assholes out there, you just click one time and you go see him. Yo, this is the thing of the future, man. Nobody's trying to do
Yep,
work no more. They just want to tap that shit or just telekinetically make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it
I
is,
feel
right?
you.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna turn it over to my stream ending here. We do have Travis's Instagram right up on it there. So there you go. Transferring over to the stream ending, and I'm gonna play you guys some music here for a little bit more, so we can just y'all can vibe out to that. I'm be reading the rest of the comments there also. Travis, thank you so much for having me out here. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much for having me on, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get going. No time sitting down. Some people not know life is a cycle. You gotta know how to get around.